You're lying next to someone. There's a moment. It feels intimate, safe even. You've shared stories, secrets, future plans that sound suspiciously plural. And yet, if someone asked you what this is,
You're not single, not together, not casual, but not committed either. Just something. And that something has become strangely common. So I went digging because I believe situationships aren't random, they're psychological. And what I found was, well, let's say you would want to hear it.
on paper, a situationship sounds inefficient. No clarity, no defined future, no guarantees. And yet, millions of people across cultures are choosing this format. In 2024, evolutionary psychologist Menelau Apostolou and his colleagues examined fear of relationship commitment across different countries. The findings were uncomfortable. Higher fear of commitment predicted a greater likelihood of remaining single. It was linked to lower self-esteem and increased loneliness. Avoidance isn't about not caring. It's about risk calculation. When you define a relationship, you create the possibility of losing it. But if you never label it, you never fully fail at it. Uncertainty turns into emotional self-protection. You get connection in a situationship, but you limit liability. And in a world that feels unstable, economically, socially, digitally, limiting liability feels intelligent.
Now let's reverse the lens. Because avoidance is only half the story. Social psychologist Stephanie Spielman introduced the construct fear of being single. Her research found that individuals high in this fear are more likely to stay in unsatisfying or uncertain relationships. Not because they believe it's ideal, but because being alone feels worse. Loneliness isn't just sadness. The brain processes social rejection in the same neural regions that are associated with physical pain. Isolation is registered as a threat because we have evolved into social beings. So even if someone offers partial connection, inconsistent affection, undefined status, uncertain future, the mind rationalizes it. This is fine. It's modern. I don't need labels. But underneath that narrative may be a quieter voice saying, at least I'm not alone. Situationships often survive because two fears meet in the middle. One person fears entrapment, fear of commitment, and the other feels abandonment, fear of being alone. And uncertainty satisfies both, temporarily. No one has to fully commit, no one has to fully detach, but no one fully relaxes either.
But where does this fear come from? Fear of commitment or of being alone? The younger you has the answer. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby, proposed that infants have an innate need to form emotional bonds with their caregivers, their mother, father, etc. It's for their survival and security. But this early emotional experience also shapes how we bond in adulthood. Some adults develop secure attachment. Some lean anxious. Others avoidant. Now imagine the modern dating ecosystem. Unlimited options, constant comparison, low pressure to define relationships quickly. It's an ideal environment for insecure attachment types to operate freely. The avoidant partner delays definition. The anxious partner tolerates the delay. The avoidant feels relieved. The anxious feels temporarily reassured. But long term? Research in journals like BMC Psychology links insecure attachment styles to higher loneliness and lower relationship stability. So, situationships may not be rebellion against tradition. They may be attachment systems negotiating fear in a culture that allows them to. We live in an era of optionality: streaming, remote work, dating apps. Commitment, on the other hand, is narrowing. It's choosing one path while discarding others. That feels heavier in a world built on infinite scroll. So, even culturally, uncertainty becomes normalized. But here is the tension: human nervous systems did not evolve for endless options, they evolved for stable bonds. Uncertainty keeps the nervous system alert. When you don't know where you stand, your brain keeps scanning. In an uncertain relationship, you will often examine the tone shifts of the other person, their response times, microsignals. It activates stress systems. The body prefers predictability, it reduces threat. Secure attachment lowers stress markers. Even bad certainty can feel calmer than unclear possibility. Situationships feel light, but cognitively, they are heavy. So, while the current culture rewards flexibility, biology rewards security. Situationships sit right in that friction point. At some point, the uncertainty stops being logistical. It becomes personal. If they don't choose me, what does that mean? If they won't commit, am I not enough? And now we are no longer talking about dating structure. We are talking about self worth. Just as hustle culture ties value to productivity, modern dating can tie value to selection. Being chosen becomes proof of worth. And so, being in an undefined relationship becomes silent rejection, which is why situationships can feel disproportionately painful. There is no clean ending, no official breakup, just gradual realization. And unresolved narratives are harder for the brain to process than clear conclusions. Closure regulates, uncertainty lingers.
So, situationships are rarely laziness. It's rarely pure manipulation. More often, it's two people negotiating fear. So, what does emotional maturity look like? It's not forcing labels, it's tolerating the label. The ability to ask and the ability to hear the answers and remain intact either way. In a culture comfortable with blurred lines, clarity might be the boldest move available. So if you are in something undefined, maybe ask yourself, is this freedom or is it just your fear hiding in disguise? If this resonated, you can be in a defined relationship with us. As a subscriber, we explore psychology of power, culture, and the invisible forces shaping modern behavior, among other interesting topics and upcoming fictional projects. That's it for this one. Bye.